Hello, fanboys and girls, and welcome to the Fanboy Fight Club podcast, brought to you by Media Junkies. Every Tuesday, we grace your ears with either a new or classic episode. You can find all of our previous episodes of this show in our archives, and now this is our flagship podcast. But if you like the sound of our voices, you have 3 other podcasts for your listening enjoyment. If you love video games, you can check out Jarmar's new Why Are You a Gamer podcast. If you're like me and you like you some pro wrestling, you can catch Mike and I on the Gimmick Minute Wrestling podcast. If you're a Division 2 fan, enjoy your Going Rogue. Find tons of info on the game archive. I messed that up. My fault. Find tons of info on the game archived in the Rogue Agents podcast episodes featuring Wes and Jarmar. If you're using Apple Podcasts, please leave us a 5-star review. You can also leave us your feedback on Twitter and Instagram at MediaJunkieVids. My name is Jason. Nice try, Wes. I have the pleasure of hosting the show. It's time to introduce you to the fanboys. Then we'll enter the ring for the main event, and that's where the Fight Club part comes in. We have a full cast of characters on this week's show. First, the man who co-created Media Junkie, the former Ultimate Barista and now Agent of Flow, Wes. What's up, man?
What the fuck? We just go back to the past 12 weeks.
I like it. I like it.
We did 12 weeks perfectly fine. Episode 13, you're like, fuck you.
Well, it's that or the resident juggalo. I mean, which would you prefer?
Oh, God.
I totally forgot about the Ultimate Barista thing.
Oh,
Hey,
whoa. Are we going to call in on the radio?
So that's where it came up. That was a nice little thing you tried to throw into my script, though. I appreciate it.
My name is Jason. I love cock, and I had the pleasure of hosting this show.
Oh, man, if only he would have read that. That would be fantastic.
I tried so hard.
Yeah. All right. Next, we have the man who wants to know, why are you a gamer? Jarmar, how we doing tonight, man?
I'm doing good. Doing real good.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Good. Glad to
I
hear
don't
it.
have any clever to say.
That's all good. Then, the man bun behind all of the Fanboy Fight Club social media accounts. Jake, are you ready to get back in the ring tonight?
Yeah, man. Also, Star Wars didn't suck, so fuck the haters.
Is anyone else, does he sound like he's calling into the local radio station?
A little bit, yeah.
For me, it sounds like he's calling from prison.
We have a caller on line one. Jake, how do you feel about Star Wars?
Sounds like he lives in Arizona or some bullshit like that.
I mean,
And then finally,
Yeah.
one of my co-hosts on the Gimmick Minute Wrestling podcast and the person behind all the graphics across Media Junkie, including t-shirts available for sale on tpublic.com. Get yours today. Michael, how you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's going to be real fun with the radio call-ins and juggalos. Man, I'm excited.
All right. Love it. I love it. All right. Before we get things kick-started, has anybody played anything, seen anything they want to talk about? Star Wars, Jake mentioned that. Anybody have any comments that they'd like to?
I agree with our call-in competitor, Jake over here. Star Wars was absolutely fantastic.
Yes, I just saw it today, and my God, it was fucking amazing. It was so good.
I wouldn't.
I understand all of the complaints, but they're all dumb. You know what I mean? I get that the people are complaining about what they want to complain about, but in the end,
It was fun. I laughed. I cried. I was on the edge of my seat.
Exactly.
It was
Everything that
movie.
Star Wars should be.
One of my coworkers was watching Fox News the other day, which I barely ever watch because they are so fucking right wing. It's ridiculous, or left. I don't know. Whichever wing they are, it doesn't matter.
They're a wing.
Regardless of that fact,
Chicken wing.
they had a movie reviewer on there that was just talking about how garbage Star Wars was, and it was one of the worst films he's ever seen. And I was just like, "Holy shit, man! This movie must be pretty good if this guy's crashing it this bad."
No, it did,
I think
pretty bad at the box office. I know that.
Well, I mean, when you say
I do
bad,
agree that it could have been 2 movies, but that's not necessarily a complaint. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just,
But that's
it-
more
it's a
the
very
whole
full movie.
Lucasfilms deciding to do multiple directors for a trilogy.
yeah, it was Disney.
So it should have been 2
decision.
movies, but it ended up being 1 because the last movie was completely nowhere in this whole if you put the 3 movies together, number 2 does not fit in at all.
Yeah, but you can't blame Ryan Johnson for having a different idea, which is fine.
Right.
But
What
just-
he
No,
did
like I said,
was
that's why
just did-
I blame Disney and Lucasfilms because they decided to have someone in a main trilogy who didn't have the same view as the first director do the second film and then bring back the other guy.
It's not even that. It's Rian Johnson. When he got handed that movie, it was when J.J. Abrams was like, no, I don't want to do this. Here's my fucking mess of notes that I want to happen. Like, it wasn't even like he just got so much interference and like random hodgepodge of things that he had to make work, and I think he did as best as he could. And I don't think it's a terrible movie like some people do. But.
Yeah, I agree with you. I should preface that. I definitely enjoyed Last Jedi as well, but you know.
He also went against all of the Star Wars tropes, so he also clearly had his own vision on top of dealing with that mess of notes.
Which is why it's good.
Here's the thing. No matter what, whether it's good or bad, I think we're going to be seeing less of Star Wars because, I mean, the Star Wars fatigue is real. It shows in the numbers.
I don't think it's a fatigue.
Dude, I know you're talking...
But
you're talking like it had a terrible opening. It made $92 million in one day. Like, it's still going to be fine.
It's like $20 million
but
behind
still, like,
the Last Jedi and the other two. Like,
good for $179 million for the weekend. Well, if you do $90 million on one day and you do $179 million on a weekend, that's bad. That's bad.
It's also a week before Christmas.
Wait a minute.
That's the culture we're going to with these giant fucking releases like Star Wars. Everyone that wants to see it will see it the first day or the second day.
Like, the writing's on the wall. Anything less than 200 million would have been disappointment.
But it still had the fifth highest opening. It even beat out Infinity War. We wouldn't say Infinity War was a flop.
A failure.
Yeah. So it just doesn't. I mean, I don't agree with that wholeheartedly.
And it beat out Infinity War. Please go into detail.
It's as far as the numbers. It's first day numbers. You know all about the numbers, man. Look up the top 5 list. Look up the top 5 list.
$90 is for the number beat out.
The top 5.
$90 million beat out Endgame.
I'm just saying, there's a top 5 list on there for Thursday. I'm just saying. I'm not. Is that overall numbers? No, I'm not saying that. But
40 million is like the 5th highest for a Thursday numbers. Even Last Jedi did more on a Thursday.
Yeah, it was behind Last Jedi. It was at 5. How is that bad?
So then it didn't beat Endgame.
I didn't say Endgame. I said
Infinity War.
Yeah.
Oh, and you're saying Infinity War. Okay.
Correct. Yes, exactly. But that's my point, though. It's the 5th highest on day one. Like, how is that bad? I don't understand.
It's because of what it is. It has its
literally, like, people talk about Star Wars fatigue and all this bullshit and like, oh, it didn't do as well as the last one. It didn't do as well as the last one. It's still a fucking free money printing machine for Disney, and they will keep pumping it.
Oh yeah, I just think we're going to see a longer break between the films.
I think we are
because they're going to focus more on Disney Plus. Yeah, they're going to focus more on Disney
because of money. They've already stated though this is supposed to be the end of the whole entire saga, the trilogies. So, like, of course, we should have a break for a while, but I don't think it's going to be.
Well, and also you're also looking at a longer time until like a brand new trilogy, even if it's not a Skywalker trilogy.
Well, there's something scheduled for 2022.
Was planned 5 years out, yeah. But the first, Force Awakens, they planned 5 years until that movie, and they're like, okay, every 2 years after this. Now they're at the end, and they haven't planned that again yet. You know what I mean? So, like. Yeah, we might get a Star Wars movie in 2022, but it's not going to be the start of a new trilogy or anything. I'll tell you what, and I think every 2 years is fine.
Since I got the internet in the 90s, I've tracked box office numbers every weekend, and I was shocked at this weekend's numbers. I'll just say that, shocked.
Yeah, but I mean that's just like
you also have people who are still butthurt from Last Jedi who are like, I'm not going to see it. It's like Solo. Solo was absolutely fantastic too.
Solo was
and you have reviewers that are saying it's a terrible
50. What was it like 52 or something on Rotten Tomatoes?
It was lower than that. It was like 48.
Solo was great.
So this one, this one actually has the reverse effect of Last Jedi. The Last Jedi, all the critics were saying how good it was, and it actually performed better, like, due to that. And then the audience rating on, like, Rotten Tomatoes was shit. This one's the reverse. It's like, it has, like, a 49 or something on Rotten Tomatoes, 48, but the audience review is much higher. So, like, it's the reverse of Last Jedi. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a problem with that. And I was actually just reading about it on Twitter tonight. It started with, like, 6,000 reviews at 89%. It's up to 22,000 at 89%. It didn't switch 1%. So people are starting to question it.
In which direction?
People should just,
it's zero.
But also,
maybe people should just. How about you just?
But if you're looking
go
at
watch
80,
the movie and
80-something%, right?
Form their own opinion.
Right.
I think
But if you're looking at like it's at what 89%, so that's between a 4 and a 5-star rating ish. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
so you're looking at 3,000 people fell between a 4 and a 5-star and split the difference. So that's why it wouldn't change. You know what I mean? If you're complaining it went from 19,000 to 22,000, oh, it's 3,000 more reviews that all fall in line. Yeah, okay, maybe you get like a 0.5% or something and it would round up, but maybe their system doesn't round, you know?
Yeah, I definitely want to see it, but you guys know I'm not a huge Star Wars guy, but I definitely want to see it.
All right. Well, hey, great debate on that. You can definitely pick it up in our Discord channel under the movies tab. Jamar, how do you get to that?
Follow the link in the show
Jamar,
notes.
Thanks. There we go.
Right. I was like, do I know this answer?
I just like throwing it to you. Because
oh my god, yes. I'm sorry. I know we're supposed to be skipping on, but at the end, oh man, no spoilers. Whatever.
All right, yeah. So we can continue this on the Discord. If you want to join the conversation, you can hop in and join it. So let's get things moving on to the main event. In tonight's main event, the Fanboys are going to be remaking a classic video game trilogy. Can't wait to see what they come up with. But of course, Mike did not get to choose this topic. Wes and I did because he is the bitch of the week. So the main event kind of works like this. All the fighters are given an intro round. They're going to bring up their topic. They'll get a 30-second defend round, 30-second attack round, and a closing round to wrap it all up. In between each round, the judges, in this case will be Wes and I, will be basically grading their performances and picking who we thought were going to be the winners of each particular round. And then the overall winner is the goal. But the real motivation is to not be the loser, because the loser of the show will be deemed the next bitch of the week. And that's currently Michael. So basically, if you're new to the show, the bitch of the week is our punishment that's bestowed upon the loser. Since Mike is the bitch of the week, if he happens to lose again, he'll become the double bitch of the week. And if he happens to lose a third week, he'll be shamefully demoted to judge as the unprecedented triple bitch of the week. Yes, I know we are so creative with that name. So I'm going to throw it down to Wes. He's in the ring. He's going to let everybody know who's competing in tonight's main event. Wes, take it away.
Yeah, of course. We have in the Jar Jar Binks corner, we have Jake. We have in the Ewok corner, we have Jarmar. Yeah. And we have in the young Anakin Skywalker, we have Mike.
Oh, that's I get it, because he was a bitch.
You know what? I will take Jar Jar Binks over both of those.
Oh, you are stupid if you'd rather be Jar Jar Binks over an Ewok. They took down the fucking Empire.
Well,
I prescribe to the theory that Jar Jar Binks was manipulating everything. He's the reason. He seconded the motion that made Emperor Palpatine, or he actually seconded the motion of no confidence in the current Chancellor, and he moved the motion to give Palpatine emergency powers. So he created the Empire.
Too bad in canon he's been actually revealed to be a fucking street clown who's homeless and everybody hates and blames for the Empire.
I'm with Jason. I'm just joking.
Don't you get Palpatine for eating oranges?
So...
Ooh, I wanted to make a spoilery joke, but never mind.
Wes, do you have the timer for the 30 seconds for the second and third round? Do you need me to do that?
I got it.
All right, cool. All right, so we're gonna start off the first round. Who's going first in the first round?
First up, we have Jarmar.
Oh, Mr. Ewok, please.
I'm sorry, Mr. Ewok. I had to give you Ewoks. I couldn't give you Jar Jar.
Yeah, that'd be a little too on the nose.
Oh my god, I just got that. That's perfect.
Miso Jar Jar games.
Miso make my case.
All right, I'm gonna do this all in Jar Jar.
Yes.
And the winner tonight is Jarmar. Oh wait,
I am not. I'm not. All right, so let's get this on the road, or whatever you say. Anyways, I had way more energy the first time we tried to record, so excuse me.
Wake up!
Before Insomniac blew up our skirts with Spider-Man for the PlayStation 4, they started a thrilling series by the name of Resistance: Fall of Man. Well, that was the first game. The series was Resistance. So it was a narrative-focused first-person shooter with creative weapons that brought something extremely new to the shooter platform. However, due to the struggles, mostly of the PlayStation 3 out of the gate, I believe this game was extremely overlooked. So I'm going to make a case for it. Now, the heart and soul of Resistance is the story. Gameplay is fun, but secondary. So back when this game released, there was a few different shooters out there, but not a lot of them were focused on storytelling. They were more about action, which is fine because that's fun too. But the first 2 games did something really unique with the character of Nathan Hill. They followed a journey from a small-time soldier just defending the United Kingdom in this alien invasion to him to him traveling across the world to help fight this war in the United States as well. And then him becoming affected by the Chimera and actually becoming a martyr of some sort. Spoiler, he kind of turns into a bad guy. So after
spoilers.
that, it's a reboot. Okay. So the third game changed the perspective completely. It actually switched to a character, Joseph Capelli. He was an ex-firefighter, and coincidentally, the brother-in-law of Hale. His connection was Susan, which is Hale's sister. That's how you become brother-in-law. Anyways, he didn't actually want to be a hero. Joseph was like the anti-hero. He's like, I don't want to do this. But the Chimera at this point had taken over control of the entire United States or whatever. So he actually had no choice to fight. So unlike his brother-in-law, he didn't want to fight this war. And throughout these games, you get that internal struggle between these characters. Well, of course, you get to shoot shit and kill aliens. That's always fun, right? It's a callback to one of our episodes if you've been listening to all of them. But anyways, this kind of storytelling was like unique to PlayStation 3 at that time. And I think that actually is what kind of helped PlayStation 3 actually at the end outsell the 360, because the storytelling in all of their games became a DNA. And I think in my heart, Resistance led the path of that. Now, one other small thing, because I said gameplay is fun as well. Insomniac took something that was insanely great from the Jak and Daxter, crazy weapons, and they brought that over to the first person shooter genre. So the one gun that I just wanted to have to bring up, I just felt like I have to, was the Auger. That was an amazing gun. At the time, you could actually see through walls, see where enemies are at, and you can shoot them through the walls, which added, a cool factor as well, but it gave the gameplay a new strategy. Instead of just waiting for them to come through the door and shooting at them, you had to create more strategy. You could switch weapons and shit like that. It was really awesome at that time. But I digress. The Resistance Trilogy wasn't criminally underrated, to be honest, now that I think about it. The reviews are actually quite well, but what it was definitely done disjustice in is it wasn't played enough. It was criminally underpaid. So when I think about the PlayStation 3, I think of Infamous, Uncharted, Last of Us, and of course Resistance. And this is why this game trilogy needs to be remade. That's my case.
Do you wear a skirt?
What?
I said blew up your guys' skirt.
Oh, okay.
I was wondering where they were going with that.
I was so confused at the beginning when you're like, it blew up her skirts. And I was like, wait, what?
You know the
All right.
expression.
All right. Awesome.
Marilyn Monroe,
Resistance. I only ever really played the first game, so I kind of regret not playing the other ones now.
Really, really great games.
Okay, cool.
All right. What? So we got next?
All right. So next up, we have Mr. Jar Jar himself, Jake.
Wait, now I'm confused. Do I go again?
Oh, all right. So I'm going to take you guys back a little bit farther. Kind of the heyday of PlayStation 1. 1999 to be exact. The studio 989 was tasked with publishing a brand new stealth action game. And the reason why I kind of thought of this is we're kind of have an absence of stealth action games at this point in time. There's not going to be another Metal Gear. That series is dead in the water. Ubisoft keeps fucking around with, hey, we might bring back Splinter Cell. We might not. We might not. But they won't. They don't have the balls to do it. So why not bring back one of the best stealth action genre games, Syphon Filter? So this game came out in 1999, like I said, and it is amazing. Like, it is clunky back in the day, like it has those PS1 third-person shooter controls, but it's so much fun to play, and it actually has one of the deepest stories that you would expect to find in a stealth action game. The main character, Gabe Logan, is tasked with finding Syphon Filter, an experimental biochemical weapon. and it's just layers and layers of espionage happen in this game, and I remember playing it and being like very impressed with the way they told the story and the twists and turns it took. The other thing I have to mention is it has one of the best weapons to ever exist in a stealth action game, the taser. This fucking taser was so much fun and had this hilarious effect that added to the game. If there was a guy shooting you and you just wanted to say fuck you and everyone around you, you pull out your taser and you shoot him with the taser, which would send out the 2 barbs. It wasn't like an up close and personal taser, and it would shock him. But if you held down the button long enough, they would burst into flames, burning themselves and everybody around them, which was just amazing at that point in time. Now let's talk a little bit about the entire trilogy. So there is more than 3 games, but we're just going to stick with the first 3, because that's the complete trilogy before they kind of start going off in other directions with the story. With it, when it came out in 1999, the Metacritic rating right now for Syphon Filter, the first one, is 90 out of 100. Syphon Filter 2, also on PlayStation, is at 81%. Syphon Filter 3 falls a little bit more, and it's at a respectable about 75%. But that was also kind of at the very end of the PlayStation life cycle, right before PS2 came out. So these games were all highly rated. And the reason why they were so highly rated is because the story was phenomenal and the gameplay was a lot of fun. So that's my vote. I'm bringing back Syphon Filter.
All right, awesome. Thank you for that, Jake. So, what do we got left?
All right, you know who it is. It's the bitch of the week, Mr. Young Anakin Skywalker himself, Mr. Mike.
No!
And this should be a pretty fun one. And we chose your topic specifically because I think it could battle other ones.
Well, it's going to be interesting. So first off, I just want everyone to take a moment, close your eyes. Imagine you're sitting at E3. The PS5 has just officially announced its release date and price point. And then the president of Ubisoft comes out, puts his big old balls on the table, and says that he's got a big announcement. Room goes dark. Up on the screen, 3 little glowing lights come on with the title Splinter Cell Triad. That's right, they are now announcing that Splinter Cell, Pandora Tomorrow, and Chaos Theory will be getting a full remaster, and not just smoothing it out and making it a little bit more pretty, but they're going to completely rebuild these games from the ground up. On top of this, it's going to have 2 separate releases. The first one's going to be a limited time, where you can get all 3 bundled for $59.99. The second release will actually happen starting in 2021, where you can buy each of the games individually at $39.99. This trilogy will release alongside both the PS5 and the Xbox Series X on day 1. It will have brand new graphics, a brand new game engine. It will fix a lot of the issues with shooting, which is one of the biggest complaints of the earlier titles, especially when you're trying to shoot with a handgun and you aim at someone's head and miss 32 times. And on top of that, we are going to be bringing back the beloved multiplayer that everybody's complained was shut down by Ubisoft. Not only will it have the classic modes, but it will also be introducing a new mode. In this mode, it will pit guards versus spies, and it will have both a 2v5 mode and a 1v6, where the spies must break in and steal codes from a computer and then escape without getting caught or, worst case scenario, killed by the guards. And this will all also be available on the PS4, Xbox One, and eventually the Nintendo Switch. This is going to be leading into also an even bigger announcement later on at Ubisoft's conference at E3, where they announced that the Xbox Series X will have a special edition bundled with it that will have the infamous night vision 3 dots on top of the very strange looking tower. And that is why Splinter Cell Triad is going to be coming to you in 2020.
Well, all right. Cool.
Yeah. All right. You guys all three did a great job there. It's gonna be kind of tough. Wes, how you
Why don't
feeling?
you go first, buddy.
Oh, of course. Damn it.
It's a tough one. You're right. All three contestants fighters did a really good job. Jesus.
Yeah. Man, geez, Mike, I like your presentation, but man, damn it. Fuck. I'm going Mike Jake Wes or Mike Jake Jarmar on this one. Sorry.
He was going to give Wes no points.
Yeah. So I kind of had the same setup, just switched this a little bit. I have it set up as Mike, Jarmar, Jake. Jarmar and Jake, I felt like we're neck and neck. I mean, it was really hard, and the 360 dig at the end kind of hurt me a little bit. But your presentation, I thought was really well done. But so I'm gonna kind of the same setup, Mike, Jarmar, Jake.
All right, cool. So, all right, moving on to the next round. What's the next round, Wes?
All right, so next round, we're going into the attack round. So you have 30 seconds on the clock, and the first person up is Jake. Jake, you ready?
Yep.
All right, and 3, 2, 1, fuck everyone else. Go ahead.
All right. So first of all, I know we're going to be doing this a lot because Mike and I both picked stealth action games. But have you gone back and played the original 3, Splinter Cells? They are not that great. They're not that fun. They're really cool for a couple of things they did, but the gameplay was just awful, and it's so slow, and it's not entertaining anymore. As far as Resistance goes, yeah, Resistance sucked because they already had Halo. You're talking about, big storytelling and shooters didn't exist. Halo had been out for years. Halo 2 had been out.
Time. Shut up. Okay. All right.
Oh my gosh. That was fun.
All right. 30 seconds on the clock. Next up, we have Mike. You ready to fuck everyone else, Mike? Not in a
I'm ready to
way.
fuck. Oh,
This
sure.
man fucks. All right. 30 seconds on the clock, and go.
All right, let's start with Jarmar. First off, Resistance, it was a subpar Halo. And as far as series, as far as it being unique, just like Jake said, it was nothing. It was shooting aliens with generic storytelling. They didn't really get into good storytelling until you got into games like Uncharted and then eventually Spider-Man and all the other great PS4 titles and PS3 titles at that point. And also, I mean, I forgot there was even a third one. I thought it ended with the second one because it did so bad. And then as far as Syphon Filter, I didn't even know there was 3 games. I thought there was 1. And even then, no one's talked about this game in how long? Why would you waste anyone's money?
Shut up. That's so funny. Okay. I feel like I'm a dick when I do this, and I apologize. I don't mean to be mean. I love all you guys.
I love
I
it.
still love you.
I love it. I
Alright.
fucking love it.
Jamari, you there?
I'm ready.
All right. Are you ready to non-sexually fuck everyone else?
Or sexually.
Or sexually, if that's your thing. But I'm cool with that.
God.
I mean, he likes skirts and he wants to fuck everybody. Don't hate on him.
Oh, no hate. I said I'd watch. Okay, here we go. 30 seconds on the clock, and go.
Okay, so Mike, young Anakin would not scream no because that was the older Anakin. He would actually say yippee. But anyways, if this was to happen to be presented at E3, you realize people would fucking lose their shit. This game the reboot has been fucking rumored for so long. No one wants a remaster. They have clearly passed their time. Syphon Filter was a good game. However, it was basically just a shitty version of Metal Gear Solid. It was a Western version. Sure, it was cool. It was like 007, but stealth. But stealth games have been dominated by Metal Gear and Splinter Cell.
Time.
Too bad too bad Mike chose the wrong. But time was up, so it didn't matter. Also, I just like to point out.
It still kind of matters since you wasted the first 10 seconds complaining about Anakin Skywalker.
I didn't waste it. I just made a clarification. You can't argue and then say the wrong fucking answer. It's like, what the fuck? Do you even watch Star Wars? How you get your young Anakin and you say no? Clearly
because young
not.
Anakin has to grow up to be angsty Anakin.
All right.
No, young
Mike-
Anakin's annoying catchphrase was yippee.
I'll be honest. I already got my score down. Jamar did take that 5 to 10 seconds, but he still came, I thought, the strongest on that one. So I'm going Jamar, Jake, Mike.
Mike, you're now Watto. That's who you are, since you didn't get the other guy right. Okay.
Wow. Wow.
Oh my gosh.
So I actually have. Let me see. Let me go up to look at my notes here. Okay, cool. I actually have it as Jake, Jarmar, and Mike. Man, it's another. You guys each week, man. We've been doing this longer and longer, and you guys are getting better and better at this. Okay.
Yay.
I'm gonna.
Sorry, no one wanted to respond to you, so I felt obligated there to bring attention.
All right, that was just me to fill the air as I tally up the scores of where we're at so far. Okay, so now we're going on. Don't come on me. I mean, don't come for me.
I mean, maybe if you want to.
I don't know why. I find everything Wes saying tonight very funny. I need to mute my mic.
It's because you're also a father and you get it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Mike, are you ready?
Sure, why not?
You're the first one up. Surprise. Okay.
Yeah, surprise.
And go.
Okay, so first let's address, Jake. I mean, you said that the first 3 games weren't that good. Yeah, they were pretty janky, but most games back then were. And even then, they're still insanely loved. Like, even as someone who didn't play the games, I had to look up and research the shit, and you wouldn't believe how many goddamn YouTube reviews there are for it. And everyone just has nice things to say, except for, obviously the janky gameplay. As far as Jarmar goes, I mean, you didn't really say much except for insult my Anakin no thing. Well, guess what? Anakin and Darth Vader are the same person no matter what timeline you're in. As far as I'm concerned, I'll play Dr. Manhattan rules.
All right. Perfect. All right. Jarmar, are you ready to be cummed on?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, you got 30 seconds on the clock, and go.
I guess fuck me and the 90 million people. 3, right? I guess I didn't have an Xbox, so I didn't play the all franchise. Resistance was a great launch title, dudes. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And throughout every game, they supported the hardware very well. They actually displayed what you could see on the PlayStation 3. Also, just because you didn't play a game, Mike, doesn't mean it was bad. I mean, we all know you play Fallout 76, and clearly that's a bad game. Jake, dude, again, just because you compare everything to Halo, it just makes me so mad. It makes me so fucking mad. Like, what the fuck does that have to do with Halo?
Oh man, we are just going over. All right.
I definitely played both 1 and 2 of Resistance, Jarmar, but thank you.
In your argument, you said you didn't even know those existed. Oh, that's cool.
Well, I didn't know number 3 existed because number 2 was real bad.
Yeah.
Well,
or real good because you played.
That's why they had to ditch the main character.
Fuck everyone else in it. All right.
Yeah.
All right, Jake, you ready?
Yep.
All right, 30 seconds and go.
Syphon Filter is clearly the best one for a remake because it's not the one that gets circle jerked around the whole time. Like, everybody, Mike, you say that, everybody loves Splinter Cell, but that's because Ubisoft keeps fucking putting his goggles in every goddamn game they make. The only time we've ever even heard a reference to Syphon Filter was when they put his taser in Days Gone, and people lost their shit for it. Was Days Gone a good game? No, but it got that one reference boosted it.
All right.
All right. Why don't you go first on this one, Wes?
Yeah, I could do this.
All right.
I don't know why I'm having so much trouble with it tonight. Like, it's really, really hard. I have it pretty much the same setup as last one. I have it as Jake, Jarmar, Mike.
All right. I actually kind of saw it a little bit differently. Actually, this first round, I kind of flipped on you. I actually got Mike, Jarmar, and Jake on this one.
All right.
I feel like you guys are doing this on purpose.
No, it's I had it written down before he even gave you yours.
Gonna give me anxiety.
Well, that means it's you can't have a closer game than what we're having right now. Actually, this is the closest game we've ever had. So closing arguments are going to be pretty important. So make sure you guys bring it, okay? All right. So the first person we have for closing arguments is Jake. Go ahead.
All right. Just give me 1 second here.
God, we've never had a game so close. It's crazy.
Last week was almost as close.
Almost. This is literally the closest ever.
I like how Mike doesn't like to be surprised. He just totally just.
Oh yeah, I
he
tell him the fuck out.
calculates
I want to know
the whole
where
way.
I'm at, so I know how hard I have to bring it.
All right, so here's why Syphon Filter should be the next trilogy that is remastered from the ground up, right? As I mentioned in my intro, there's nothing in the pipeline even close to this. You know, Mike can bring up, Splinter Cell, but even Splinter Cell isn't as grounded in reality as Syphon Filter is. Syphon Filter is a super contemporary setting. Everything that happens in that game could happen. The taser's a little out there, but everything like that. It's the most realistic espionage game that's been out in a long time. Everybody, you might say that it's not as good as Metal Gear or this or that. Metal Gear is so out there that I admit it's a great game, but it's not relatable in any way, shape, or form. Syphon Filter is a story that could happen, so that's why most people could connect to it, especially in 1999 and all the sequels that followed in the years after. The world is clamoring for a game like this. While it's not going to be a remake, but the remastered, I think that they can get a lot of groundswell that comes in with just teasing it a little bit, releasing tidbits here or there, and then when they finally make that big announcement, people will lose their goddamn minds and go back and see how amazing those first three games were, and especially in the era they came up. You guys are talking about, Splinter Cell and Resistance. Resistance doesn't need a remake because it's not that old. Like PS3, yeah, it is old, but a remastered wouldn't really change all that much. Splinter Cell, we've had one of those more recently, a new one fairly recently. This is the one that deserves it the most because it's the most and most realistic, and it's also the one that we haven't seen in the longest amount of time. And that's my point.
Okay. All right. Good way to close it out, Jake. All right. Who's next?
All right. Next up, we have Jarmar. Maybe.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, sorry. All right. Misa Jarmar Binks. No. Anyways, I'm an Ewok. Anyways. So.
Oh my gosh.
What's up, Wes? How you doing?
Hello.
Doing good? Yeah.
Hey, don't pander to the judges. That's cheating.
Hey, shut your mouth. Hey, shut up. So, we had some amazing reboots proposed to you today.
We did.
Sadly, two of those you wouldn't even play. I'm just saying. They're both stealth games. Have you noticed that? We all know you hate those. But anyways,
I do hate them.
In my opinion, Resistance was a huge victim of the missteps made by Sony with the launch of the PlayStation 3. It was a $600 console, limited availability, that was basically guaranteed that Fall of Man, which Resistance launch title, had a very small audience. It's obvious. Even though it was a great game. Now, even throughout the PlayStation 3, there would be two more console sequels, and they were apparently overlooked, especially by Mike. But anyways, the success of the PlayStation 4 just crushed it, right? Insomniac, they put the world on notice. Like, we are a legit developer. People want more. And then we have the hype of the PlayStation 5 coming. Right now is the perfect time for Insomniac's classic trilogy, Resistance, to come back and be done by the remastering kings of developers, Bluepoint. They will revive this trilogy that was sadly forgotten, and all will be balanced. We don't need a new game, per se. We just need to show a light on these games that were missed. And that's all I have to say. Plus, stealth games, there's a lot of them.
Well, all right. Mike, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. All right. So I'm not going to pander like some people.
Instead,
I'm
only
just gonna-
painted
I'm
to
just
Wes,
going
not
to-
me, by the way, just to point that out.
Yeah, true. Okay.
You like stealth
Well.
games. And that wasn't pandering. I just pointed it out that they're both stealth games. That's
Yeah,
it.
and that Wes doesn't like stealth games. Just saying.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And you don't know
I
Star
just want
Wars.
to bring to attention in a world of mediocre stealth games that really only entertain you with weird flying briefcases and futuristic worlds with multiple decisions, multiple ways to play the game. We really need to just go back to the classics and relive what a stealth game should be. With Splinter Cell Triad, we will be aiming to bring us back to a point where it's not about how broken your game is or weird your game is. It's going to be, at its core, you sneak around, you take people out if you have to, you get caught, you fight your way out, or you successfully go through without, getting your shit pushed. But regardless of all that, at the end of the day, between these three, Splinter Cell Triad will be a huge hit. Mixing the fact that we've got great gameplay, nostalgia, it's going to be launching with the new consoles, which we all know is very crucial, especially in that first week of launch that you have a game that you're going to enjoy. Splinter Cell Triad can be that game. And adding the fact that it's going to have the limited time bundle where you can get it dramatically cheaper than buying all three separate, that's going to boost sales even more, especially at launch. And let's be honest, when it comes to video games, yeah, they make them because they want us to enjoy them, but they want us to enjoy them so that way we spend money. And you know what money does? It then gives that developer a chance to make more games. And this game will also build hype, so that way Ubisoft can focus on making a new Splinter Cell that is good and people will want to play it. Can the other two titles that we've talked about today make that same promise? That's all.
Is that it? Okay.
All right. That was,
Jason,
that was
go ahead.
good.
I wish we had another round of argument because I would to tear that apart so bad.
I kind of like how Mike assumes that our remasters wouldn't also be available for a new system. He's like, well, I'm the only one that thought of the PS5. And I'm going to charge you more for a remaster when remasters are normally only $30. I'm going to charge you
my
a full
remaster
$60.
isn't a shitty
gosh.
smooth over
Okay.
mine. It's Resident Evil
Hey,
2. It's a rebuild.
The battle's over. None of this is
I
being
feel like
done.
we need to
Any-
fuck everyone else round two.
I know. He's gonna sell the games individually. Who does that? What?
It wasn't. We weren't supposed to do remakes, Mike. We were doing remasters.
Technically, the remakes
Oh
and
my
remasters
God.
are the same
It's
thing.
over.
This is like,
It's
this
over.
is like the
It's
fucking
over.
theme
It's
park
over.
and whatever bullshit is going on.
Okay. All right. So this is all right. Damn it. Okay, I'm completely thrown off. All right. So based off of like what you guys talked about and how you guys presented it, I'm just gonna go ahead and judge it. So, as much as it pains me to say it, especially after last week, I'm going with Jake for the closing argument, just because basically, like honestly, man, I forgot how much I liked Syphon Filter until you started talking about some of this stuff, and then it kind of brought back a lot of like you hit on a lot of really good points.
Oh boy.
And I thought you did a really good job with that. So I'm going Jake. And then Mike, I thought you did a really good job of like really kind of selling it. And so I'm going you for the 1 point. And sorry, Jarmar, man. The closing argument just didn't sell me. I mean, not that you did a bad job. It's just I thought the
No,
other
it's,
two
you like
presented a little bit better.
Syphon Filter more, so it's okay.
No, that's not quite how I said that, but whatever.
You did, but it's okay.
It's not.
Oh my God.
I know it's recorded, no, but it's okay. Go ahead.
Whatever. Yeah. If that's how you want to take what I said, that's fine. Take it that way.
Oh my God.
All right, Wes, how'd you
guys.
score it?
You guys, seriously, everyone, again, you guys all did an excellent job this week. Very proud of all three of you guys. And Mike, great way to take a game that you never played, which was awesome that you never played it. We gave it to you and kind of figure it out and research it. I really like that. So my top spot actually goes to Mike. So I actually had Mike, and then I had Jarmar, and then I had Jake. The reason Jarmar and Jake were very close again, but when Jarmar started talking about of why this game was overlooked and why it's needed today and utilizing Insomniac, that really sold me on that idea. So that's what we have.
All right. All right. So did you tally up the scores?
Not yet. I was just talking.
Oh, okay. I thought maybe you tallied them up while they were arguing. Oh no, we didn't give our scores yet. Never mind. I'm all fucked up.
Wow.
The show's off the rails.
All right. Well, then we're not off the rails. We're fine. So I got the tallies tallied up, and
All right.
it was an incredibly close game. But we do have a new bitch of the week. So let's go ahead and go into the top place winner for the week, which is actually a tie. So we have a tie for the top spot, which is Mike and Jake. So congratulations, both of you. Mike, you're no longer bitch of the week. And then we have who the fuck's beating off right now?
Oh, sorry, I got excited.
So we do have a new bitch of the week, and that is Jarmar. Jarmar, do you have any words? I want to hear him.
No, I'm fine. I'm not gonna be salty.
Oh,
about
he's so mad at
No,
Jason
it's
right now.
fine.
He's so
fine.
mad.
You didn't hear any of my reasons as to why it needed to be made, and you literally said, Jake, I remember my fond memories of playing this game, and so it's fine.
No,
But
he the way he presented it brought back a lot of fond memories. I'm not gonna lie. I played the Resistance games, and I didn't not like Resistance games either. It's just the way he presented it brought it out for me to
by
like
saying it was a
be
game.
able to be like, oh yeah,
No,
I like okay, yeah, like I can see why this game should be remade. He made the better point for that.
I love when Jamar's bitch of the week. I love
No,
having
I
him
mean,
say something at the end. It's always
I'm the
so
only
good.
one that's like willing to like be in it like every week.
So good.
So, but it's
Jamar,
I don't
you
you're like
just
I've
have
been
to-
the bitch of the week so often.
You almost didn't want
Jamar,
to be
you
in
just
this
have to
show.
lean in.
So
You have to lean into the fact that Mike
No, I'm
never
just-
actually follows the topic because he always
That's
kind of
true.
takes
I
it
mean,
one step too far
That's
outside of
another
what we're
thing.
actually talking about.
Oh my
bonuses
God,
for
you're
making up stuff about the game.
So
I like that you never played the game
boo-hoo.
before and you argued a good point. He just said what it was to play a stealth game. It's
He had
fine.
to research the series. Like he had enough.
Oh, he didn't.
and
It was
if you
up
go-
the name of the game.
He
and
didn't
if you
have
go-
to watch playthroughs. I mean, I
and
wouldn't
if you
expect
go,
him
and
to
if
do
you go
that.
back, I judged Mike pretty harshly on most of it because you can really
I
tell.
say
a lot
I
of the time
got
that
like
he
0
didn't actually
points
play the
round
game.
2 and
but he
3.
round
So.
but he got first.
No one picked Max
tied for
Payne,
first.
and I'm
I didn't give him
disappointed in
first
all
and
that.
last.
No, I mean he's tied for first.
I thought about it, Wes.
I'm
I
just-
honestly
I don't-
thought
I don't
about
know
it.
how
done
that
prepping for this show.
Yeah, Max Payne would have been a great choice.
I'm not gonna lie, for a second when Jake was talking about stealth games to me, I'm like, did he really pick the fucking game I got stuck with?
All right,
Fine.
I'll tell you what. Before we get more off the rails, go ahead and finish this out.
I gotcha. Yeah. Sorry. Let me find my show notes here a second. Yeah. So thank you guys for listening to the Fanboy Fight Club podcast. Here's a little throwback. The first rule of the Fanboy Fight Club podcast is that you must talk about the Fanboy Fight Club podcast. So, make sure that you listen, you share us on your social media. We are Media Junkies flagship podcast, but we offer so much more. Like I said before, Mike and I are on the Gimmick Minute Wrestling podcast. You got Jarmar on Why Are You a Gamer? Mike, do you want to talk about where you can buy your t-shirts?
Yes, if you go to any of our social media, you will find links all over the place with all the different pictures of the designs. Or if you want to make it really easy for yourself, go to tpublic.com and just search either Fanboy Fight Club, Media Junkie, or Gimmick Minute, and it'll bring up all of our shirts and also be able to link you straight to my store to see all the other designs I have.
All right. Awesome. Thank you very much, man. And you want channel what?
Yeah, the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, there's a YouTube channel, youtube.com/MediaJunkie, where there's a lot of fun videos, and I'm now uploading the podcast to the YouTube, which is fun because I know there is a YouTube audience there, and they're listening and giving good feedback, so it's awesome. So if you like good, fun videos, go check out Jamar's beautiful face. Mike's, I'm going to put you in a well and make you put lotion on your skin's voice, and me.
That's awesome. All right, Jarmar, do you have who do you got lined up for why you want to? Or why are you? A gamer?
Well,
sorry, I said the title wrong. Why are you a gamer?
I don't know if this is in the future, in the past, but if you just the most recent episode, we have Jake on. We discuss a few different things. We talk about a lot of PC related gaming and
Gross.
some good shit. It was a fun discussion.
Go download TurboTax.
All right, awesome. So, of course, you can find out all the information for this on our social media pages at Media Junkie Vids. You can also find out content for this podcast in particular at FBFC Podcast. So please interact with us on Twitter. Share us with your friends. We really would appreciate it. So we're going to close this one out with a few questions. Will Mike beat off during the next show? Will Jake call in from another state next week? Excuse me. Will Wes try to Ron Burgundy me again? And is Jarmar going to block me on PS4? Find out all the answers to these questions and more on the next episode of the Fanboy Fight Club podcast. Thank you. Goodbye, everybody.
Happy Festivus.